seems that the problem of renewable energy right now, why it's not gaining wide adoption, is just the matter of storage, right? It's just that if you can figure out how you can store massive amounts of energy, then you've solved many problems, because that is where oil and coal and all that wins, because it's not only fuel, but it's also a form of storage, right? So it seems like that is the one of the big problems that maybe Elon Musk or somebody is trying to solve with his, lithium ion factory, gigafactory, lithium ion battery, I mean.
Yeah, absolutely right, Pratiksha. I think you hit the nail on the head by bringing up this point. Storage is the biggest thing or biggest puzzle being worked on. It's not that storage is not known. Like batteries are all storehouses of electricity, and we have been using batteries since a long time. But it's the cost of storage. Today, if you want to use a lead acid battery has a certain life. So if you take it as, if you want to depreciate it over the lifetime, which you should, then the cost of storing 1 unit of electricity, that is putting 1 unit of electricity into a battery and taking it out, today is somewhere around 12 rupees. So it doesn't make sense to, let's say you generate electricity at about 3 rupees or 4 rupees from solar, then you put it into a battery and take it out, you are adding 12 rupees to that. So it becomes 3 rupees plus 12 rupees, 15 rupees. So this is not viable as compared to the grid power which you get, which could be 6 rupees, 7 rupees. So it doesn't make sense. Lithium ion these days has become more viable. Lithium ion, you can actually, instead of 12 rupees, it probably happens at about 9 rupees, 8 rupees. So that is possible. But it's also forecast, like Elon Musk is targeting that it should happen in 2 cents. That is 1 unit of electricity, you put it into a battery and take it out, should cost you 2 cents, which is 1 rupee 50 paise or about that. When we reach that stage, then it's a big change. Then including storage, renewables plus storage is competitive vis-a-vis conventional. So we would have that kind of situation. So when that happens, then you don't need storage. Then that's when renewables also will percolate into automobiles. Of course,
I see.
Yeah, but of course today, when you compare, if you compare renewables plus storage with cost of electricity generation from petroleum fuels, let's say you talk of diesel or any of those fuels, renewable storage is cheaper. Renewable plus storage is cheaper. So for anybody who has, let's say, who uses DG sets for, let's say, 3 hours, 4 hours per day because of weak grid or whatever, it makes sense for them to move into renewable plus storage rather than using diesel generators.
So I have a question. So is these figures you have mentioned, etc., is efficiency also part of the, I mean, the considerations, like efficiency of converting some of these energy sources into electricity, or be it stored or otherwise? I mean, are these, is that also a factor in when one is trying to decide on which renewable is going to be used, etc.?
So these are the numbers. These are the numbers at which an investment becomes viable. So it factors in all the efficiency factors.
Okay.
Let's say if you're specifically talking of storage, let's say you have a power plant where you want to store electricity in a battery, or you have a facility in which you want to store electricity in a battery and then take out that electricity and use it in your premises.
Yeah.
So the numbers which I was telling is the real numbers which you will experience as an investor.
I see. Okay. So in that sense, I mean, efficiency of coal, etc., is pretty good, is it? I mean, compared to the modern renewable sources that are being used. I mean, what is the comparison like?
See, if you're talking of coal, the cost of generation of coal today It's again dependent on at what price you can procure coal. But these are all, for a new plant. If you set up a new plant today based on coal, it would cost you anywhere upwards of 4 rupees, 4 rupees per unit.
Okay.
That's where we are. But there are a lot of historical projects where capital cost has been paid off, so therefore it might be lower there. Then the main thing will be the operation cost and the coal cost, and that also comes to anywhere around 3 rupees or a little below 3 rupees. That's where it would cost for a thermal power plant today.
Okay.
So compared to thermal, we are getting wind and solar at utility scale at less than 3 rupees now.
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
okay,
less than 3
fine,
rupees.
fine,
But the moment
fine.
you add storage to that, it becomes expensive.
I see. Okay, fine.
And these are after factoring on all the efficiency numbers and cost of resource, all those things.
I see. Okay, thanks. I see.
Thank you. We have 2 questions from Ravi here. So he sent it via chat, which I can see. Algae plants for CO2 capture and alternative food production. Any comment?
I have not worked on that and not studied that very much, but algae as a CO2 capture, I think it's an interesting possibility, and some research has happened on that, though I am not fully abreast of that. In terms of food, I think a few varieties of algae are useful for food, but I don't know how efficient they are in terms of whether how efficiently algae can convert or capture CO2. And is it an economically viable proposition? I think some of those details I won't know. But I do know that those initiatives have happened, and CFTRA in Mysore itself has done some work on that.
That's interesting to know. The second question from Ravi is, what is the government position of generation of electricity from perennial energy from sea waves? India has huge coastline. Is there any work in the field?
Ravi, the key issue with sea wave, energy from sea wave, is the viability. Because it's a highly dispersed form of energy, and it's not continuous. It's an intermittent form of energy, and it's also highly dispersed. The intensity of energy is much low compared to you take wind power or anything like that. So the economics of this is what is the issue. In fact, there was a project which was done long back by Institute of Oceanography in Trivandrum to set up a demo plant. I think they did a 5 megawatt, a 10 megawatt project. But the costs which they encountered, and even and this was something which was done almost 20 years back. But even now, we don't see any economically viable projects which have happened. So it's basically the cost which is the issue. But there are some interesting concepts. If you just look up on the web, you will see. Probably you already seen various concepts of missions which can harness this. But we don't see them in the business world. It's probably there in the R&D world, but it's not come to the business world yet. So government has no take on this other than just saying that, okay, there's a research proposal, they'll welcome that, maybe they'll fund it also, but there's nothing from the government to kind of push it at a commercially viable scale.